Hello and welcome. If you've ever found yourself staring at the Citrix Policies console and just felt that little wave of dread, well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to take that feeling, that fear, and turn it into your greatest strength. Let's get started.
I'm sure you know the feeling. You open up the management console, you click on Policies, and there it is, a list that just seems to scroll on forever and ever. And in that one moment, your brain kind of goes blank. It's like a quiet little wave of anxiety just washes over you. And then the questions start bubbling up, right? That little voice in your head that says, if I touch this, what's going to happen? Could I actually bring the whole system down with one wrong click? It's a really heavy feeling, all that responsibility.
And underneath all that fear, there's just confusion. You're looking at hundreds of settings, all with these super technical names, and it is so easy to feel completely lost. You're thinking, what do these things even do? Why are there so many? The complexity itself just feels like this giant brick wall.
So, what do? You do what feels safest. You move your mouse up to that little X in the corner, you give it a click, and you just breathe a sigh of relief as that scary window disappears. I'll deal with that another day, you tell yourself. If this sounds familiar at all, I really want you to know you are not alone.
Okay, so let's just take a breath and dismantle that fear right here, right now. The story we tell ourselves is that policies are this big, complicated monster, just waiting for us to make one wrong move. But honestly, that's just a myth. The truth is so much simpler. Policies are just a set of rules, simple instructions.
Let's strip away all the jargon for a second. At its absolute core, a Citrix policy is just a set of rules. Rules that tell the system how a user's session should look, how it should feel, and how it should act. That's its entire job. It's not magic, it's not a trap, it's just a guide.
So, what do these rules actually do? Well, they're really simple commands. For instance, a rule might say something like, hey, let the folks in the marketing team copy and paste. Or another one might say, for all our remote workers, let's not allow them to connect USB drives. Or even something like, for users connecting from home, let's lower the graphics quality a bit to make their session feel way faster. See? Each one is just a very specific, targeted instruction.
And this right here, this is honestly the best way to think about them. Imagine you're throwing a party at your house. You'd set some house rules, right? Things like the music volume, which rooms people can go into, what time things wrap up. Policies do the exact same thing, but for your digital house. You're the host, and you're just setting the rules to make sure everyone has a good, safe time.
So, why do we even need these rules in the first place? Well, because a virtual environment is a super busy place. You've got graphics, audio, printing, all this network traffic, and it's all happening at the same time for tons of different users. Without rules, it would be total chaos. You might have one person accidentally hogging all the resources, slowing everybody else down.
Policies exist to bring a nice, calm order to all that chaos. They're there to protect your environment. They protect performance, making sure things stay snappy. They protect security, preventing risky stuff from happening. And most importantly, they protect the user's experience, making it feel stable and predictable. They are absolutely a force for good.
Now, here's where we can make that giant, scary list feel a lot smaller. All those hundreds of settings, they really just fall into two main buckets. First, you've got experience policies. Think of these like the comfort settings in your car. Adjusting the seat, the temperature. They're all about how the session feels. Then you have control policies. These are the safety rules, like wearing a seatbelt or obeying the speed limit. They're about what a user is allowed to do. That's it, comfort and safety.
Okay, let's go right back to that original fear and look it straight in the eye. That belief that if you touch a policy, you're going to break everything. This is probably the single biggest myth that holds people back.
And here it is. This might be the most important thing to remember from this whole explainer. A policy, all by itself, is never the problem. It's just a tool. A wrench isn't dangerous, but if you use it on the wrong bolt, you can cause some trouble. The danger never, ever comes from the policy. It comes from misunderstanding who or what that policy is going to apply to. And that leads us to the biggest secret of all. Policies are not some giant global on-off switch that affects everybody all at once. They're more like laser pointers. They're precision tools. You get to choose exactly who a policy applies to, which users, which departments, maybe even which locations. They are designed from the ground up to be targeted, not universal.
So what happens when policies come from different places and seem to conflict? Well, there's a simple way to think about this. Imagine you get conflicting instructions from 4 different people: your mom, your dad, your teacher, and your boss. Depending on the situation, you just instinctively know whose rule is the most important one to follow. Citrix policies work the exact same way. The system has a built-in hierarchy to figure out which rule wins.
So let's put this all together and change how we see these things. From this moment on, I want you to stop thinking of policies as dangerous buttons. Instead, start seeing them as the tuning knobs for your entire system. The next time a user complains that their video is choppy or their session feels sluggish, your first thought shouldn't be panic. It should be, which policy knob can I adjust to make this better?
And with these knobs, you can solve real-world problems. We're talking about making graphics smoother, fixing annoying printing issues, cutting down on network usage, and even speeding up login times. They are your first and often most powerful tool for fine-tuning the environment and making your users happy.
And when you realize this, everything changes. The very thing you used to be afraid of becomes the source of your strength. Understanding and using policies with confidence is what separates a good administrator from a truly great one. It is, no exaggeration, your superpower.
You know, everyone goes through this journey. You start out by fearing policies. Then, with a little bit of knowledge, you start to respect their power. But the goal, the place we want to get to, is mastering them, using them with confidence and precision to build the perfect user experience. And that journey is totally available to you starting right now.
So how do you start down this path safely? It's easy. You just follow a simple 4-step process. First, understand. Actually read the description of a policy before you use it. Second, test. Always apply new policies to a small test group first, never to everyone at once. Third, check layers. Just be aware of where different policies are coming from so you know which one will win out. And finally, document. Just make a quick note of what you changed and why. This simple process is your safety net. It completely removes the risk.
When you adopt this mindset, this simple habit of understanding, testing, and targeting, that feeling of fear just melts away for good. Policies stop being some monster lurking in the dark. Instead, they become your most trusted tool, your most reliable ally in building a truly fantastic digital workspace.
So let's end right where we began. Remember that feeling of your brain freezing? Of wanting to just close that policy window and walk away? The answer was never to run. The answer was to understand. Policies aren't the problem. Understanding them is the solution. And now you hold the key to that solution. Thanks so much for joining me.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.